Hello, thanks for joining me, astrologer Patrick Arundell, for your April monthly horoscope for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you've yet to subscribe to our channel, we'd be delighted if you did so now. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. If you've got some big things going on in your life and you'd like some expert guidance, why not check out my one-to-one testimonials by seeing the link below. It's one of the most enriching parts of my work, working in this way. If you'd like to ascend above your zodiac sign in an affordable way and find out more about what really makes you tick, please check out my personal horoscope reports. There's a special offer on a year's forecast and also a character analysis, 30% off. Please see the link below. Hello Pisces, and welcome to your April monthly forecast. As this month begins, the Sun and Venus are in the part of your horoscope to do with everyday resources, but also your sense of self-worth. Now the Sun in Aries and Venus too, of course, this is a fire sign. It's about spark, initiation, and because of its quality of cardinality, it's about making things happen. So you may be quite busy in terms of making sure that you're protecting your resources or perhaps adding to them the best you can. Now, I told you last month that Venus may have brought some kind of bonus or surprise income to you, and that's still possible in the first 10 days of this month. But I also think it's possible that if you've been very cautious and saved for that proverbial rainy day, or kept some pension contributions going, or some savings vehicles, those too could be something that you're really savouring at the start of this month. If your financial situation has been affected less positively by COVID, and of course that's true of a lot of people, what I would say to you is that you do have an opportunity to embrace new opportunities this month, not least from the fact that on the 4th, Mercury, the planet which governs commerce, moves out of your sign, where it's not at its best, not because you're a Pisces, just because of the water element, which diminutes the clarity that Mercury likes, because it's the ruler of the airy Gemini and the practical Virgo. But it moves on the 4th into Aries too. And so the spark, the fire, the ignition that comes from that Aries energy can get your thinking going and see you that much more busy in terms of being proactive. Is there a challenge? Well, it is true that Mars, which forges a beautiful angle to Venus in the first 10 days of this month, which could give you that protectiveness, that some kind of added income, or it could see someone in the family be very generous to you, or it may see you building something which can add value to your world, either metaphorically or physically, such as, adding a new bathroom, for example. The 4th house is very much about water. It's very Cancerian. The 2nd house is about the kind of structure, the foundation. So if you've got a need to have some adaptations to your home, you can do it in a very shrewd way, I feel, with Mars and Venus's help. But you may be thinking, but hold on, aren't they more about relating? Well, of course they are. And if there is someone showing an interest in you, it could be someone linked to your family or your past, or it could be someone who has a real appreciation of a more homely approach to life. This could be someone who is a brilliant cook, or loves walking in nature, or has a real sense of reliability and trustworthiness about them. And someone like that could be a big draw for you in the early parts of this month. But as I said, Mars is in your 4th house, which is about emotion, and it can make you just a little bit defensive. And it's important from the 4th to the 14th to know that with Mars being challenged by your co-ruler of Neptune, that your reality could be a little bit altered, but so can everyone else's, all of us, because Mars square Neptune is one of the trickster influences that go on in astrology. And I just think that your own sort of viewer situations could be slightly more subjective with Mars in the fourth house and Neptune squaring it. So if there is something that comes up that's deeply personal, I wouldn't necessarily jump to conclusions. It would probably be a very good idea to talk to someone that knows and you trust, who tends to be very truthful with you, but also very practical in their viewer situations. Because if you are seeing something in a very emotional way, they will help you to straighten out the distortions a little bit. However, it is true that on the 12th there is a new moon. And if you're wanting to feel better about yourself, which the second house reflects on as well, the next month is a fine time to do it. Now, whether this comes from the fact that you're meditating or watching some self-help stuff or reading books or just reflecting on past experiences, it's very, very important that you do add validation. But the problem is that Pluto, the planet of power, is squaring up this new moon. So it brings a lot of politics to issues of your principles, the 11th house, and your values against the everyday realities, in other words, the money. So it could be, particularly in week 2, when Venus also squares up with Pluto, that someone's going to offer you a job or tries to incentivize something to you, but you kind of feel that maybe there's some kind of catch. But you know, you could be absolutely right. And this is where your shrewdness can really come to the fore. But equally, you don't want to be so doubtful of a situation that you pulverize your passion simply to avoid absolutely, totally something not working out for you, whether it's around a relationship or around a financial situation. But I think when it comes to friendships particularly, this new moon could bring into the open more if there is any kind of divergence between your values, your sense of self-worth, or your attitude to money. So if there is someone around you who tends to take your resources for granted, your generosity for granted, I think you could push back a little bit. But equally, you may encounter someone who has a kind of different set of values to you initially, and I wouldn't just close down those opportunities because they seem to have different tastes. I do feel similar values actually are one of the main reasons relationships work or don't work. And if our values are very different, it's very difficult to unify those things, even if we really fancy someone, even if we really love them. Love in itself is not always enough. So I think the challenge at the heart of this month could be between your reality and your idealism, or it could be someone else's reality and idealism which doesn't match up to yours. Bit complex, but I hope that you've got that. But in fact, in week 2 and 3, the Sun in your second house of resources, self-worth, forges a really powerful link to Mars. And if you have got through the politics and you are clear about what you want to achieve, something around your home or money could be transformed very, very quickly, and you could be delighted at how quickly that does move. The 14th also sees Venus move into Taurus. Now, Uranus is already in this location. They're joined on the 19th by the Sun, moving on at 8:34 p.m. Universal Central Time, followed by Mercury. It gives us 4 planets in Taurus. This is your 3rd house. Life's going to speed up dramatically for you in the last 10 days of this month, and it can be very exciting. There can be lots of sudden connections, coincidences, serendipity is entirely possible. You may find yourself buying some new technology, a new mode of transport. You may be a bit helter-skelter. You may find it hard to sleep actually, because things are going to get very exciting. There can be text messages and emails pinging backwards and forwards. You can feel really tickled by how upbeat things are going to be. But also Mars moves on the 23rd from that 4th house transit, which is complex, and it moves into a much better location for you. It moves into the 5th house, the water triplicity of Cancer. In a technical sense, Mars isn't the happiest in Cancer, but for you this is fab. For the following 6 weeks, you're going to feel much more outgoing, much less kind of prickly, I feel. Mars in the 4th house is not easy. So moving into Cancer can see you wanting to be more playful, enjoy the good things in life. And with all this third house electric energy, which requires you to feel stimulated, you may be moving around a lot, doing short journeys, visiting people, having fun. Someone could be incredibly flirtatious to you and you may love every single minute. But if you're in a relationship or a situation where things have depended on a degree of routine and predictability, this could all come as a bit of a challenge towards the end of this month. It does just depend on you. The planets can influence a settled situation, just like a more restless one, but it depends on what you do with the energy you're given. You know, you could sit there thinking, oh my word, I just feel so utterly bored. You could start to get really irritable, or you can actually take that energy and make it work for you in a more active and physical way. And I think if you do that, the full moon, which occurs in Scorpio on the 27th, can actually be a time when a lot of feelings that have been pent up for a long time finally pour out into the open. You could be sharing a very authentic side of yourself, particularly if you do feel conflicted or compromised earlier in the month, trying to get what you want from life, you know, keep the money coming in, but it may be doing something you don't really enjoy anymore. You've got no passion for it. By the end of the month, you've got to be living your truth, because Uranus essentially is about the truth. The third house is about your ideas, your belief system, and your thinking, and how you share your ideas. And if your life is as dull as ditch water, and only you can make that judgment, I'm not saying it is. I know loads of Pisces that are finding life very exciting, but if you feel your life has got too mundane, you're being asked to shake things up, and that means stepping outside your comfort zone. But the planets are giving you all the encouragement to do precisely that as this month draws to a close. It's been a pleasure being with you. Stay safe, take care, and goodbye.